Hey, so I haven't really updated y'all since, I don't know, I think like cycle day 10, which is the first day I got the test back. And that's usually right around when you're supposed to start testing, is like cycle day 10, because normal people with a 28-day cycle usually ovulate on day 14 of their cycle. Well, not me. So initially that first test that I took right around 12:40 on cycle day 10 seemed to be like kind of dark, but apparently it wasn't. And every day after that it got really light and like even fainter. So I thought, oh, these are just gonna get darker, but that is not what happened. It went from like kind of high to pretty low, and now it's starting to get high again, cycle day 14. I went from testing like 3 times a day to 2 times a day to 3 times a day again when I started seeing the dark lines again. And it's really nice having this app because it just shows you, like, I can just track it all in here and it'll show me. So I just took one now at 11:30 p.m. and it's the highest one I've had so far on cycle day 14. I feel like, yeah, maybe I'll ovulate soon. I just don't know. We'll see. It's still not a peak. And this app is telling me that I should ovulate on cycle day 16, which is my birthday actually. So that might be kind of cool, conceiving on my birthday, but yeah. Yeah, so basically your LH surge has a peak about 24 to 48 hours after that peak. That's when you ovulate. So getting a peak on these strips doesn't necessarily mean I'm ovulating that day. It means I'm ovulating 1 to 2 days after that peak, and I still haven't gotten that peak, and my birthday is in 2 days. So I'm wondering if I will get that peak tomorrow, since they are getting darker and I'm seeing them get darker. And also I have a little bit of like cervical mucus, so yeah, I'm wondering if they'll get darker and I'll peak tomorrow and then ovulate the next day on my birthday, and that would be cycle day 16. So who knows? I don't know. I will keep it updated so that you know like what's going on. This is my first time taking these ovulation tests, and yeah, it's kind of like you have to get used to it and kind of have to like research and figure out what a peak looks like. So you really have to read them right at the 5 minutes, because if you let them sit for any longer, they get pretty dark. Like this one looks super dark now. And it was not that dark when it hit the 5 minutes. Like now they're like the same amount of darkness, but you really want the test line to be even darker than that control line for the peak to happen. So yeah, make sure you read right at the 5 minutes, and know that just because another line shows up and it looks kind of dark or the same darkness, it's not positive yet. You really want to keep testing so that you have that like super dark line, and that's what I'm waiting for. And I've been testing 3 times a day. They say not to test in the morning, so I've just been doing that anyways though. I'll test in the morning, and I do get a really low line. This morning I tested at 8 and I got a 0.2 Okay, sorry guys, my camera died. Oops. Okay, so this morning I tested and I got a 0.27 at 8 a.m. and then I tested around 1:30 p.m. and I got a 0.52, which is like pretty much the highest I had since that very first test, which was a 0.53. And then I tested again at 8:30 and it was a 0.51, so like about the same. And then something in me was just like, I just want to test right now. I haven't tested this late this whole time. The latest I've tested is like 9 p.m. because I have work at 8 a.m. so I go to bed pretty early. I don't have work tomorrow, so I was like, I've been up, and so I just wanted to test and to see where it was. And it's at a 0.68, so this is the highest it's been, but it's still not a peak. So I'll test tomorrow and see where it's at. So all that to say, don't trust your apps. Like if your apps are telling you you're gonna ovulate on day 14, that could definitely be wrong. So that's really why I wanted to buy these tests and just know for sure when I'm ovulating and kind of like get a better understanding of my cycle and yeah, to be able to track like days past ovulation, because if I went with like an app, it would be telling me that I'm ovulating today, and I'm obviously not ovulating today. So yeah, I just want to be sure and like, yeah, definitely like go all in. I just ordered maca root pills, and I also just ordered magnesium pills, and yeah, I probably shouldn't be taking all this stuff all at once, but yeah, I've been wanting to take magnesium anyways because it's supposed to help me with sleep, and I struggle with sleep. So I just saw a couple of videos and some research that was showing magnesium helps with your progesterone levels. So I'm going to take that when it gets here. And also maca root is supposed to be really good for your energy and estrogen levels, so why not just take them and see if it helps. They can only do good. They're both really great natural vitamins, so I'm gonna take both of those and see how this cycle goes, and if we don't get pregnant on this cycle, then we'll just keep trying, and I will bring y'all along for the journey. So I'll check in with y'all tomorrow or the next day. Probably the next time I check in is when I'll have that like peak ovulation and show y'all. Hey guys, so I left y'all last night with like not knowing if I was gonna peak. Well, it's already 1 p.m. and yes, I'm still in what I slept in. And I took a test earlier at like 12:30, so like 30 minutes ago, and I got a pretty high peak. Let's see if I can show this. Y'all see that? So this line is the control line, and that's what you want to be darker. That's what you want to be darker, which it pretty much is. So so yeah, I think I'm gonna ovulate tomorrow, which is my birthday, so that's kind of cool. Either tomorrow or the next day. Yeah, so nice to know that I am ovulating at a normal time and not like super late in my cycle or super early in my cycle. It's cycle day 15 today, so if I ovulate tomorrow, then I ovulate on cycle day 16. And if it's the next day, then cycle day 17. So not too bad. Right, sorry. So yeah, so that basically means since I got a high today, I'm going to baby dance today and tomorrow and the next day, and then skip a day, and then baby dance again the next day. And hopefully that means I will be pregnant. And I'll probably start testing. We moved back into our apartment, we moved to an apartment June 5th. That's in exactly 2 weeks. So that'll be like my 2-week wait, basically. So like basically the day we move into our new apartment, or the day before, I'll start testing and see if I got pregnant. And yeah, we'll see what happens. It'd be really cool to conceive on my birthday. That might be maybe good luck. We'll see. All right, talk to y'all later.